The competition between Coke and Pepsi will never end. The rivalry between Lionel Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo does not seem to be ending anytime soon. Lamborghini and Ferrari are fierce competitors in the luxury car division. But when it comes to aircrafts, the two biggest competitors are Airbus and Boeing. What is the story behind the rivalry? Which company makes better planes? Keep watching as we unravel the battle of the jumbo jets. For several decades, Airbus and Boeing have dominated the aircraft industry, becoming the top two choices for many aircraft sales. These two companies account for about 99% of all large aircraft orders. Although the two companies have dominated their industry, they have very different histories. Boeing was first launched as one of the first aircraft manufacturers. The company first opened its doors over 100 years ago. Since then, they've consistently been making headway in their industry. The company started with a bang as it launched the most significant aircraft in the first 50 years of aviation history. Since then, the company has grown bigger and bigger. It has gained significant acquisitions and become the giant it is today. Boeing rose to the top and remains a major force in the industry today thanks to its rich and long experience in the market. As the company built its technical expertise, it also fostered a solid reputation with airline customers and governments. The aircraft manufacturer was founded in 1916 when William Boeing started the Aero Products Company. Soon after, the name changed to Boeing Company. And in those early days of aviation and powered flight, it managed to become the leading supplier to the military. In those days, the Wright brothers had only made the first successful powered flight in 1903, just 13 years earlier. During the First World War, the Boeing Company situated itself as the major supplier of military aircraft. Even at the end of the war, the company maintained its position even to this day. Most of the technology in use today was previously used when the company first started manufacturing passenger aircraft. A good example is the Boeing 707, which used the same Pratt & Whitney turbojet engines as the B-52 Stratofortress emerged from the Dash 80 aircraft, which was built to demonstrate its ability as a military tanker. The company soon branched out of the military game and began building its name with passenger services. Boeing launched the Boeing 247 aircraft, the first practical passenger aircraft in 1933. The aircraft could take 10 passengers and operate from New York to Los Angeles in 20 hours with 7 stops. The Boeing 247 started the era of reliable and comfortable passenger travel. In 1960, it became the first airliner to reach 1,000 sales with the creation of the Boeing 727. Boeing was the start of reliable and comfortable passenger travel, but it had a great competitor that had even more success. The Douglas Aircraft Company, which was formed in 1921, was a serious competitor to Boeing in those days. The company came head-to-head with Boeing over passenger development. When Boeing released the Boeing 247, Douglas designed and built the DC-2 in 1934 and improved its design with the DC-3 in 1936. It was the first profitable passenger aircraft and could operate passenger services without any cargo or mail subsidies. In 1967, Douglas Aircraft and McDonnell, another successful aircraft manufacturer, merged to form McDonnell Douglas. Together, the new company went on to produce several important aircraft, including the DC-8 and the DC-10. Boeing then took over the company in August 1997. The merger created the world's largest aerospace company and combined the last remaining two large American aircraft manufacturers. While the company retained the Boeing name, the new emerging company was vastly different. While that merger was certainly the largest, it was not the only expansion of Boeing into its competitors. In 1986, Boeing purchased de Havilland Canada, the manufacturer of the popular Dash 8 aircraft. While compared with Boeing, Airbus is fairly young. The company was founded in 1970. Armed with significant European backing, the company was able to quickly develop into a competing aircraft. The company was created and dedicated to becoming a major competitor of Boeing, and now it has accomplished all its goals. Airbus is the result of collaborations with several European manufacturers who wish to take on the much larger US manufacturers. The collaboration came about when manufacturers and European governments realized it was necessary to take on the US manufacturers, share costs, and split the risk of aircraft production. In 1965, UK-based Hawker and Siddeley and French manufacturers Breguet and Nord Aviation started working together on plans for an Airbus aircraft that could hold over 100 people. Soon French and German partners bought into their ideas, and in December 1970, Airbus Industries GIE, which comprised of French, German and British governments, was formed. By the time Airbus was formed, Boeing was already a leading manufacturer and a large force in the aviation industry. The company achieved great success with the 707 and brought in the new era of the jet age. To counter, Airbus planned to launch an A300, which was prepped to take on 300 passengers. The production of the A300 was a collaborative effort between three governments, allowing them to take on the larger company, Boeing. The French led the construction of the cockpit and the central fuselage. The wings were manufactured in the UK, the other fuselage sections were made in West Germany, and flaps and spoilers were built in Holland. The final product sold so well, not just in Europe, but in other countries as well. In 1979, the consortium had 256 orders, and Airbus started working on the smaller A310. In 1987, when Airbus launched the A320, they cemented their dominant position as a major force to be reckoned with in manufacturing. With the great financial backing and impressive vision that Airbus had, it was willing to take on Boeing, something no other company had ever managed to do. To begin, it launched the A330, A349 program in 1986. The program was an innovative approach to designing two aircraft together, which presented plenty of cost-saving opportunities in both design and construction. When Airbus launched the A380, it was supposed to take on the Boeing 747, and it did just that. The new product won several customers and sold about 251 aircraft. Far from being a failure, the product was not the raving success they had hoped it would be either. Just like its competitor, Airbus grew in size and might by merging with other companies. Its merger, however, was not as dramatic as that of Boeing. In 2017, Airbus announced it was taking a majority stake in the Bombardier C-Series program. That became the Airbus A220 and removed another competitor from the market. There is no clear winner with the Boeing versus Airbus race. The two manufacturers are wildly successful in what they do, and the lead swings between them with narrowing numbers. In the narrow body market, the two frontiers are the Boeing 737 and Airbus 320 families. In terms of deliveries, Boeing is taking the lead. Airbus is moving ahead on orders and might close the lead if the issues with the 737 MAX are fully resolved. In the wide-body market, the lead is not so clear. However, Boeing 747 comes out just on top. The plane was developed earlier, it is sold better, and it remains in production. From Airbus, their closest competitor is the A380. Perhaps if the plane had been launched earlier, it might have been more successful. Now, it seems that Airbus has succeeded in its goal, becoming a major competitor to Boeing. As of 2018, the two companies were delivering roughly the same number of aircraft. In 2018, Airbus had 800 aircraft, while Boeing had 806. Very close. The two major giants who are competing against each other are slowly shaping everything there is about air travel. As the worldwide travel market expands from just over 400,000 travelers in 1973 to 3.96 billion travelers in 2016 alone, Boeing and Airbus are doing everything they can to remain the top choice. To secure their market share, the two companies are affecting everything from the aircraft passengers fly on, the routes that planes take, and the number of passengers that share a cabin. There have been very few challenges to the duopoly since Airbus began its meteoric rise to fame in the 1970s. Other companies that put up a challenge were either absorbed into either company or shunted aside. Embraer is the closest thing there is to a competitor. In 2020, Boeing attempted to acquire Embraer, but the deal fell through. The company, however, is content and has no plans to develop into a larger aircraft company. Several countries, most notably Russia and China, have attempted to compete in the larger aircraft manufacturing market. There is a strong possibility that concentrated efforts in that area will pose a threat to the duopoly in the coming decade or two. So, which company do you think makes better aircrafts? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, you might want to check out this video next. Also, please don't forget to subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. Goodbye, Luxcats. Until next time.